Shalom Aleichem. I'd like to point out a few things that someone should recognize: the parts of the animal, of the bird, in order to be able to be familiar with the possible shilas. As everyone knows, the chicken has dark meat and white meat. The dark meat is the legs. The legs consist of the upper triangular part of the leg, which is the thigh, that's attached to the spine. This is this section over here. At this point, where my finger is pointing, and at this time, just give a look and see the end of the thigh bone over here, and just below this point, it's connected to the spine. The connection is a ball joint. The ball joint is called the buka de atma, and the ball of this bone is locked into a socket inside the spine bone. That socket is called kilboises. Duchte is a place where the buka de atma, where the ball of the joint enters into the socket over here. The lower part, as we call it, the pulka, the drumstick. The drumstick has meat in the top, and near the bottom where it joins the foot, it seems to be without any meat at all. But through this little section over here, there are 16 tendons. The tendon is part of every muscle. A muscle, when it contracts, pulls the two bones closer. So if the muscle contracts, this bone will go like this. There's, for each individual joint, there's a separate muscle. There are 3 joints to each of the 4 toes, and this one has only 2. And each one of them has a separate tendon, which when it's attached to the muscle, when the muscle contracts, it pulls the parts of the bone closer. There are 16 tendons altogether. They pass through this spot, they join together. They attach this muscle to the bone so that it could pull this over here, and so on. It's as if you had an intersection of all the different tendons. That's called the tzoimes hagiden. The tzoimes means an intersection, a joining together of all the different giden. And we consider that if any one of the 16 giden are the giden, meaning the tendons, in this case, the word giden, by the way, is not limited to mean tendons. It could mean anything that's long and thin. Any one of the 16 is ripped or bloodied during the life of the chicken. Before the shechita, the chicken's traifa can't be used. Sometimes you take a look at a chicken and you see that it's red and bruised at this spot, you have a problem. And it's very, very difficult to dissect the part of the bone which has found to be kosher. But if you see something suspicious, it looks bloodied, not broken. Broken doesn't mean anything because it was surely broken after the shechita, otherwise it would be bloodied all over. I cut away some of the skin, and I exposed one of the 16 giden. It's this white strand. The others are thinner and thicker as might be. Each one is attached to a muscle and connects the one end to a muscle and one end to a bone. Here are the more of the giden. They're all around. There's 9 and 7 usually. Here they are. Now, they could be traif as long as they're not buried in the muscle. Once they become part of the muscle, they're not traifa any longer. How high does it have to be considered part of the muscle? Some places can say 1 finger, some say 2. We generally go up as high as 2 fingers if it's a real emergency. And there's a hefsed meruvah. That means there's a great loss, it's Erev Shabbos, and all of the food could become treif, it was all cooked together. In that case, a Rav may decide to be mekel. L'chatchila we go halfway, just want to be on the safe side. halfway from the joint over here till the top of the pulka. At this point, we say that all the 16 giden are completely hidden in the muscle. Okay.
Rabbi, when we measure with fingers, how about on a turkey?
So we measure a little more because it's a larger thing. Okay? Now, this is one of the three traifos that they search for in every chicken slaughterhouse. The mashgichim stand on the line and they check to see if there's any bloodiness at this point of the tumsagi. Another place where they check is over here by this buka da atma.